and I got to see a lot of Japan at that time. And of course, amateur radio wasn't around anywhere at that time.
Well, I always like trying to talk to veterans when they come here. The World War II veterans are getting pretty old now.
Yeah, they tell me.
They are.
Yeah.
And, it's interesting to hear the stories because it won't be long. There won't be many stories around here. So,
That's
do you
right,
ever get
that's
any
true.
holes shot in your boat or anything like that?
No.
You're lucky. Yeah, that's good.
We did a lot of shooting, but never got holes in the boat, as they say.
Never got holes in the boat, but
Yeah,
you
right,
did
lucky.
shooting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
hopefully you were better on the other side.
Well, we came to the part, we went into near Tokyo, Yokosuka, Japan, and went to Tokyo a lot to see what was going on. We had liberty to do that, and that was quite an experience to see that. Saw the Emperor's Imperial Palace, and saw General MacArthur's place of headquarters, and that was the time when they used what was called blister bags to purify the water. And of course today, most people don't know what a blister bag is. It's a means of purification that was required in World War II. And then I wanted to go over to the atomic bomb sites, where not too far away from that. And
Did you go?
well, I requested to go,
Yeah.
but I was turned down advisedly, properly, because everything was radioactive.
Yeah, and they talk about this radioactive, the half-life. It's supposed to last like 500 years or 1,000 years,
right.
but they built the city back up there, right?
That's right. But
People are living here.
But in the early days, really, most people didn't know anything
Didn't know that,
about
yeah.
atomic bombs. So, here I'm a relative young guy, and I don't know much. I'm just curious about the bomb site and see what happened over there personally. But fortunately, I was told, no, you don't have a good reason to go over there.
Yeah.
So that was
Yeah.
good. So that's all part of the experience, a lot of experience with amateur radio. I've seen all kinds of technology emerge, and the tube business started going out. I think it was started to leave about 1960, 70 time period. And then it was a swift descent for tubes. Tubes went out as people got acquainted with how to manage the technology of semiconductors, and then everything became semiconductors.
Well, there's still a need for some tubes. People are restoring equipment. They need tubes. And, 15 years ago, I moved to a different house. I threw away about 1,000 tubes.
Did you?
They were in boxes. Some of them were new. Of course, some of them were used, but they were all in boxes.
You ought to be
And
ashamed
I
of yourself.
put them out
now.
on the street for the garbage people to pick up. And
Terrible.
I wish I hadn't done that now.
That was a sin, really.
Yeah, it really
That
was.
a sin, yeah. Shouldn't
You
have
hadn't done anything like that? I mean,
I never acquired tubes in that
Yeah,
quantity,
yeah.
so I didn't have to deal with that. I have some tubes around yet, and frankly, I would worry about whether they have degassed,
yeah,
and because of age.
right.
Because after all, the seals were good, but those seals are not perfect, and
Oh, yeah.
eventually, well, I'm talking about 50, 60, 70 years now,
Yep.
and those seals probably are broken, leaking, something like that. But
Yeah.
I've used a lot of tubes, seen a lot of tubes. Taylor was a big tube maker in the 1930s and 40s and into the 50s, headquartered in Chicago. And we used to go over to Taylor Tube where they give discounts on their transmitting tubes, which is great. And then we'd go over and bring our tubes back if there was something that we suspected wrong with, and they would make it right. It was the greatest boon for amateur radio. Terrific. And of course, then I got acquainted with helicopters, and at that time, helicopters was the big gun on the street. Helicopters was the big one.
Yeah.
So I knew all about that.
Well, Arthur, thank you very much for sharing your story of the early days of ham radio.
Well, thanks very much.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I could continue on all day long. I have very good memory. but
You
we
do
don't-
have good memory.
But
Yeah,
we don't have the time to do that. So
yeah.
I hope all
You've
your guests.
probably forgotten as much as I know.
I wouldn't say that.
Well,
I wouldn't say that.
I think so.
So anyway, good to say that to somebody because the people who are curious about that area are not too many anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people are asking those kind of curious questions. So it's an opportunity for me to say what it was, and with pretty good clarity. But I need more people to ask that question.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's
It's a
good meeting
pleasure.
you today.
Tom, it's a pleasure.
All right.
Real pleasure. Thank you. Well.